Oh my gosh, guys, I had to show you this plushie. It's Mimikyu, it's Pokemon. I don't know if y'all care or not, but I don't know. I've just been feeling really drawn to it lately. I have a whole plushie collection. You guys believe it's already February almost. Oh my gosh. Look, y'all, he's back. It's like he's doing the scales, you know what I mean? Like, one or the other. You know, like, angel and devil. I don't know. Hi, hello, welcome back to my witch obsession. And in today's video, we are going to be doing February predictions. What's going on in February for you? I, I don't know, I haven't done one of these readings in a pretty long time now, but I was like, you know what, let's just start doing them again. And I used a lot of oracle decks for this reading, so I'm pretty excited to see what readings come out. But if you haven't already, before I tell you anything else, you should like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1K subscribers. I post at least once a week, upwards of one time a week. Usually I post 2 times a week, but last week was a freak situation because I was really busy. But, you know, yeah, so we have 4 piles here today, and you know, I'm going to. The timestamps will be in the description box. I feel like I should say that instead of making you guess where they are and looking for them, because that's kind of annoying. So, yeah, with the 4 piles, we have pile 1 with the Lifeline Tarot and the Tiger's Eye. And then for pile 2, we have the Ethereal Visions Tarot with the Green Adventurine. Then pile 3, we have the Luminous Spirit Oracle with the Angel Aura. And then for pile 4, we have the Lua Tarot with the Amethyst. So, if you already know which pile you want to pick because your intuition is God tier, then proceed. But if you want to listen to me ramble for an extra minute, then y'all, oh my gosh, I was like so upset and like so like unreasonably angry yesterday. I don't know, I was just like really frustrated because I feel like life's been kind of stagnant and kind of like slow moving, and I was just like, girl, like, why is it still like this, you know what I mean? But I slept on it. I still feel kind of that way, but like a lot less. It's more of like a girl, it is what it is kind of vibe, you know what I mean? And obviously it isn't what it is, but you know, like, what can you do about it? I'm just proceeding. But I feel a lot better, and I'm really excited to do this reading. At first I was a little bit like, am I in the mood to film today? But as I started pulling the oracle cards, I was like, okay, I'm kind of excited to see what comes out in today's reading. So yeah, I don't know. I hope your January has been really good. I know that my January has been just loads better than like 2022 as a whole, and I'm sure we can all agree on that. And oh my gosh, in my diary, I keep writing 2022 instead of 2023. That's just going to be a constant problem for the rest of my life, huh? But yeah, I think that's all of it. So see you at your reading. Bye. Oh my god, like, see you there. Like, hello, pile 1. If you chose the Lifeline Tarot and this Tiger's Eye point or tower, I call it towers, but I start calling it points because no one knows what I'm saying when I say tower. Then this is going to be your reading for your February 2023. So I want to get into the oracles first because there's a lot today. Well, by that I mean like 5, but you know, that's like a lot to me. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Honestly, I really don't know. I'm just gonna get into the oracles and then the tarot, and you know, that's kind of the vibe. So for this Moonology manifestation, I'll have all the decks listed down below. I always do, but like, you know, they're there. So for your Moonology manifestation, we have last quarter moon in Taurus. Be proud of yourself. We have abundance with the grape. It says grape, but I call them grapes. You know what I mean? You know the vibe? And then for your energy oracle, we have the sun. And then we have freedom. Ooh, I don't like that. I want them all to be visible. Let me move these out the way. Pile 1, I'm always learning with you around. Like, maybe you're just a very educational person. You're just someone who's not afraid to take the dive. And then for Iris, we have good things. So, not gonna lie, this is a really positive reading. But I do see, okay, so with this Taurus Moon, be proud of yourself card, I feel like in February, it's going to be, there's going to be this rift with your perspective and what's actually happening. But I do feel like with this, the Sun card, I always associate like this card, the Sun in general, and all of tarot, just with going out with friends and having a good time. I feel like February is going to be a really good month for you, pile one. I feel like with this Freedom card here, I pulled that card in particular, or like from that deck, because obviously, you know, love is something very important to all of us. So, or at least a good portion of us, pardon me. And I do feel like in February, it seems as if though you'll kind of be like not really committal, and I feel like you'll be having a lot of fun. I feel like, you know, if you're looking to just go on dates and, you know, be more casual, then that will most certainly happen for you. And, you know, if you're looking to commit, you might meet somebody. You might meet somebody while you're just kind of like out and about. And back to that thing I was talking about in the beginning about this rift, I feel like with this be proud of yourself card, it's really important that you do exactly that. I feel like you're going to be working really hard, and it seems as if though with this abundance and good things card here, it definitely seems as if though February, it's going to pick up a lot of speed for you. I feel like you're going to be working a lot more, and you're going to be getting a lot of what you've been wanting. I feel like you've been like nose to the grindstone for a good amount of time now, and you were a little bit like not frustrated, but you were just kind of like, oh, you know, whenever it happens, you know, it's just kind of this vibe of like, you weren't necessarily complaining about the work you were putting in, but you very much would have liked to see results, and these are the results. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like you had a very indifferent perspective on the work you've been doing, and I feel like February is going to be finally about getting the things and like getting your foot in the door, you know what I mean? It's just finally getting what you've been wanting, you know? Just this sense of like, if you stick around long enough, you'll finally get inside. And I feel like that's very much the energy that you're embodying, and the energy that this reading is kind of like sending through. And I don't know why, but looking at this abundance card here, it makes me think of like, obviously it's grapes, and that makes me think of wine. So maybe you'll be like having fun with friends, you know what you get what I'm picking down here, you going out with friends and stuff like that. And it's obviously, you don't have to participate in those kind of things, but it's just that subject matter, that situation of going out with friends and having fun with them. It doesn't necessarily have to be like y'all are getting under the influence or anything like that. It just, you know, you're going out with friends. You know, you could be going out to dinner a lot this month. You could be having a lot of fun with friends. You could be meeting new people. I just feel like February, like, if I'm going to sum this reading up in like 3 seconds, February is just going to be a pretty good month for you. And you might not notice it because you might be a little bit hard on yourself. It's important that you understand that a lot of the things that are happening around you are going to be a lot better than you think. And they're going to have a lot of longevity, especially if you do have Taurus in your chart. I feel like you have Taurus and air in your chart. And, you know, those signs, I feel like they like luxury. I feel like air signs plus Taurus just shows that, like, this immense appreciation for good quality knowledge, good quality time, and also a lot of just, like, enrichment. So I definitely do feel like if those things interest you, you'll be getting a lot of it. I feel like you'll be very mentally stimulated. Even as I'm going about this reading, I'm kind of stuttering and kind of tripping over my words, because it definitely does seem as if though February is going to be kind of a whirlwind of a month for you. I feel like that's how February has always been, because it's so short. I'm not looking forward to paying rent for February, because I'm like, girl, this is like the rent's equivalent of a free trial. Like, just let it be free. But you know the vibe. But I definitely do. I'm really picking up on that you're going to be harvesting a lot. I feel like you'll get random sums of money. You'll like get a lot of good things. I feel like, I don't know, it just seems as if though there's going to be a lot of opportunities that come about you, and a lot of good things that just like seemingly knock on your door. And I also feel like with this freedom card here, I really don't feel as if though you've been too focused on your love life. And I really don't feel as if though you've been like too particular about pushing your love life. But I do think that, you know, if you want to like go out and like, you know, like see somebody or go on a date or something like that, I really do feel like this is a great month to do that, especially since it's February. And I'm just saying that like it'll be a month where you're so focused on friends and your career, because those things will be like especially prominent in your life, and those things will be taking off in your life. It's just a sense of like, oh, like I don't have time for a lover. Oh, I don't have time for, you know, like a man or a woman or anything in between. It's just like, you know, I'll go on a date or two. I know I'll go spend a night with someone, but it's like that's the most I'll do. But, you know, for those of you that do want to commit, I do feel as if though you'll be chased this month. With this freedom card here, I get this vibe that like somebody might try to contain you, or you might meet people that try to contain you. That's for some of you, not all of you. I feel like usually I can pick up on like different placements and like astrological placements, but I really do feel like this is kind of like a wild no pun intended, wild card pile, in the sense that there could be anyone watching this. You could literally be like, I don't think that there's anything in particular about your birth chart other than like maybe some air placements and some Taurus placements. Those are the only thing I'm picking up on. But it just feels as if though you'll be on the go this month. You'll be super quick on your feet. And maybe that's why I'm having a little bit of trouble picking up on the energy, because it's just like, you know, you're having fun and you're doing whatever you want. And it's like no one or nothing can slow you down or, you know, tie you down or, you know, get you to do something that you don't want to do. So do understand that this is going to be a very abundant month for you, pile 1. And even if nothing happens in the literal 3D realm, I feel like a lot of things will happen within like your headspace. I feel like this will be kind of a month where you kind of pump the brakes a little bit. It's like you'll be working smarter, not harder. You'll be doing less, but for more. It's just like do as little as possible for as much as you can. I definitely feel like you're going to be slowing down, and it seems as if though all the things that you've worked so hard for will catch up to you. It's like you're gonna be like, wow, I'm so tired, let me take a second. And then suddenly like all these great things happen to you, you know, like wow, like I finally got the place of my dreams. I finally am organizing these things out regarding the things that I've been wanting, you know, like if you've been wanting to move out, if you've been wanting something new, like a new car or something. I feel like this will be kind of a month where you're deciding on those things and kind of thinking about them more, because it seems as if though you'll finally get the funds to plan for those things, or you'll be promised a new position or a new source of income, and you'll be like, wow, this is a lot. I can finally afford this, you know? It just seems as if though February is going to be a whirlwind of a month, if, like I already said. And yeah, I also think that with the tiger's eye point, you know, it's like that's literally this stone of courage and good luck. So this is going to be a really good month for you, pile 1. And not even to sit here and just like hype you up and like make you like feed delusions or anything like that. It's literally just going to be a good month. Like there's nothing in this reading so far that suggests that it would be a bad time, and I really do feel like you've already put in the hard work and done everything that you can. So it's just a matter of like waiting for it and letting it kind of stew and boil over and letting it happen. Okay, let's get into the tarot. I don't know how I'm going to do this actually. I'm going to move these cards out the way. I'm just going to move all these cards out the way. Let's just get into the tarot. I'm so excited to see what comes out for your tarot cards. Oh my gosh. Girl, the first shuffle was a disaster. That is so embarrassing. Let's try that again. Much better. I don't know how February is going to be, honestly. At least for myself, you know what I mean? Clearly I'm doing the February reading for you, so we kind of have a glimpse at what your February is going to be. But, you know, it's still just tarot, and it's still like things are subject to change. So it makes me wonder how February is actually going to be, at least for the collective. for the world, you know. I feel like this January has been a lot less slow and painstaking than the other Januaries. I know last year's January was horrible, and I take great offense to that. So yeah. What is going on in pile 1's February? Oh, wow. What is going on in pile 1's February? That just dropped out. What happened? What's going on in pile 1's February? I have no idea how many times I shuffled it. We have the Queen of Wands. I'm going to pull a few cards here, actually. 5 of Wands. 10 of Cups. Page of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. This is a completely different reading style. I was not expecting this. This is how I used to read tarot. 2 of Pentacles. 2 of Swords. And then the Temperance card. Alright, and then the bottom of the deck is Strength. I really do... Okay. With the 5 of Wands and 2 of Swords, I'm almost wondering if a lot of the difficulty and challenges you may face in February is kind of like related to decision making. I feel like you could be a very indecisive person or somebody who takes their time to carefully make decisions because you don't want to make the wrong decision. And that's heavily backed up by the Temperance and the 2 of Pentacles. It really does seem as if though you're constantly seeking balance and you're seeking, harmony. So I feel like in February, that's kind of the attitude you're going to be having here. I feel like with the Page of Pentacles, I'm getting this feeling that there's going to be a lot of opportunities, but there's still going to be this little something that you're looking for. I feel like February is going to be spent reaping the rewards, and then there's still a little something that you feel is missing, in the sense that like, oh, I have all this and this and this, but I still can't help but feel like something is missing. And I feel like with the Queen of Wands and King of Pentacles, I definitely do feel as if though this is a great month to take charge of things related to the material realm. So like your finances, your home, your car. So I feel like this is a really great month to develop a routine regarding those things, For example, it's like if you don't already, like it's really great to wash your car and clean it up at least once a week. It's great to develop morning routines, night routines, all these things, and kind of change it up a little bit. I do think that routine is maddening to everyone to a certain degree. It's not what we're designed to do, but it's still good to, introduce routine to your life and bring structure to it. And I feel like, it'll be a great month to kind of change things up, buy new things, regarding like self-care and things like that. Obviously, self-care products aren't the end-all be-all, and they aren't what define what self-love and like self-care actually is. But I feel like with the Taurus theme that I picked up on earlier and with the Pentacles that we have here, I definitely do feel like you're somebody who is very concerned with their physical health. Perhaps this month you'll be going about the gym, or maybe you'll be pushing the gym more. Maybe you'll be going on walks, just somehow incorporating more physical activity in your life. Or if you have already invited physical activity in your life, this month will be about continuing that and going about it still. And I also feel like with this Temperance card here, it really does seem as if though February is going to be just like maintaining balance. I feel like it's one of those flow months. You know what I mean here? It's just kind of like one of those months where it's like nothing exciting happens, but it's just a good month. It's just like you're working, you're making money, you're going out with friends, you're not overworked or anything like that. You're not stressed out. You're just doing it. It's just like, it really does feel like one of those months where you're just kind of like, okay, let's just get it over with. Let's do this and this and this. And that's honestly why I feel like I was also saying that you won't be too focused on your love life, because it really does seem as if though it's you working, it's like you work so hard to get to where you want to be, and now you can work a little less hard, or at least dedicate that energy into something else a little bit more rewarding or more productive. And not to say that where you were dedicating that energy wasn't productive or something like that. It's just that you've already done all you can in that situation, and now you're waiting for those investments to come back to you. I feel like this is a very smart month for you. I feel like this month you're going to be very persistent and kind of stubborn even. I think that with the Queen of Wands, it really does seem as if though you're going to be tapping into a more like fiery feminine energy. You know, it's like it doesn't matter if you whatever you identify as. The point is that like with this feminine energy, I feel like you're going to be really feeling yourself, and you're going to be pretty independent, and I feel like you're going to be just kind of like doing your own thing. I don't know, like it just feels like everything in this reading you already have planned out. You already, it seems as if though that this pile is kind of like the planner of my piles today. It really does seem as if though you already have February mapped out, and you already know what's kind of happening due to forecasts, due to other readings you may have watched, or just the overall sense that you know what's going to be happening in February, because you know, I don't think that anything's going to truly take you by surprise. I just feel like you know what's going on, and I feel like this is just like a huge confirmation reading. And with the Ten of Cups here, I also do think that this month will be heavily spent with family, or you'll be really concerned, not concerned, but you know, really invested into people that are super close to you, like family, you know, like if you have a huge best friend, or you know, if you have a lover, and or if you have like, you know, really close family members that like you talk to on a daily basis, like, you know, perhaps you call your parents every night, or maybe you call your spouse every night. You know, it's like you don't have to have a spouse, but I'm just saying that for those that do have one, I feel like, and with the Freedom card that I pulled earlier, it really does seem as if though that if you already are in a relationship, this month will be, obviously it's February, so Valentine's Day, I feel like you'll be celebrating that with, you know, your person. Or if you don't have that person, I don't think that you're too upset about it. And even if you are, like, you will be able to meet someone, and you will have the charm and wits to meet somebody. I feel like you have a lot of airy placements in your chart. I'm kind of picking up on that now. Like, I feel like you have like a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius Venus, or something like that in your 7th house. I also feel like you have like you kind of have this refined quality about you, pile one. I feel like you have like Taurus plus Gemini in your chart. I'm picking up on like a Taurus Sun Gemini Moon, or like a Gemini Sun Taurus Moon. But regardless of the case here, I just feel like this month is really going to be about refining your taste, getting back to where you want it to be. I feel like these past few months were pretty humbling for you, especially if you do have Taurus in your chart. You know, you don't have to. Like, those are just for those who need extra confirmation, but, or my skeptics. But, you know, I just feel like with that energy, it's just Taurus placements have gone through it these past few years, and I feel like with these past few months they were no exception. And I feel like you've done a lot of work, and I feel like you took a lot of blows to your ego, or you really had to humble yourself. So I feel like this month is really about you getting back to where you want to be, and you being where you were a few years ago. And I put that in air quotes because I feel like obviously that's subjective from person to person that's watching this pile. But I feel like it's safe to say that everyone watching this pile, it seems as if though, pile one, you've been kind of ruminating about a particular era of your life, or a specific time period of your life from an upwards of a few months ago, so it could be a few years ago, where you're just kind of thriving, and you're just kind of in that flow state. You know, you're just working, making money, talking to people, going out, having fun. And I feel like you've been kind of longing for that again, you know, like, oh, I wish I could go back to this. I keep thinking about how me personally, I've been thinking a lot about summer of 2019. It doesn't matter how that was for you, but for me, I feel like that was just a legendary period of my life. I feel like June of that year was just god tier. I don't know what it was about it. I was just thriving. Like, I was I was playing Overwatch, I was going out with friends, I was making monies, I was buying plants nonstop, I was decorating my room, I was playing Garden Warfare. I was just like in this flow state, you know, I was just doing it. I was moving about my life. I was just taking it day by day. I had plans for what I wanted to do. And I very much think that's the energy that you're embodying right now, pile one. And the energy that right now is predicting this, you know, like this is what I'm picking up on basically. And what I'm picking up on is that February is just going to be another month. It's not going to be particularly exciting, but I feel like to offset that, the excitement will really lay in the day to day, in kind of like those little moments, you know. It'll really be about the little things for you in February pile one. It'll be those Target trips. It'll be those 2 a.m. trips with your besties because y'all started turning up. It'll be those sleepovers that you have. It'll be that one little, you know, ordeal you had at work. It'll be that stupid argument you faced with a customer at work that one day. It really will just be about the drive home from work listening to your favorite song. It really will just be these little moments. You know, pile one, I really can't express to you that like this month will be so much more peaceful and soothing for you. It will be a very nostalgic era for you, I'm picking up on, and you'll really just be like having fun. For since we have Sagittarius here with this Temperance card, I almost wonder some of you will be traveling, or you don't even have to be like traveling, but I feel like for a good portion of you, you'll be like, you know, going to a friend's house, or you'll be driving just a few hours away to visit somebody, or, you know, like spending time with somebody, if you know what I mean. And with the Strength card here, I really do feel like this will be a very empowering month for you, pile one. I feel like February is going to really put some gas in the tank. I feel like it'll really motivate you and rejuvenate you to keep going, especially if you've been kind of stressed or exhausted. I'm not picking up on that this pile has been very upset or very, you know, bitter as of late. I really don't feel as if though you're the kind of person to take things personally. And, you know, regardless of how you're feeling, I do think that this is a month where you'll be able to pump the brakes and, you know, take a second and really savor the little things, you know. Like, I'm thinking about, there's this channel on YouTube called Grayson's Projects, and they do a bunch of like video essays and like documentaries and things like that. Not documentaries, but like video essays and commentary videos. And I'm thinking about this one video where they shared these pictures and they were tearing them, and one of them was they went out with their sister and they left the house at like 5 a.m. and watched a sunset, or not a sunset, a sunrise. And it's just making me think of like how it was just like they were talking about how it's a very sentimental picture for them and it's a very sentimental era for them. And I'm very much, because, you know, their friends were leaving for college, but I'm very much thinking that that's how it's going to be for you in February, pile one. It's going to be really sentimental, and it's really going to be a very meaningful month for you, despite the fact that there seems to be nothing major happening in it. I feel like this, you know, like comfortable, peaceful energy is really what you're longing for. I feel like you're the kind of person that's not looking for extravagant parties, you know, getting lit or nothing like that. I feel like for you, like partying is just staying in your room with like one or two friends just gossiping, you know, drinking Gatorade and watching TV, you know. I feel like that's a party for you, pile one. And, you know, if that's not literally a party for you, it's just that you're not somebody who likes to go crazy or somebody who likes to get completely unhinged. At least, you know, if you used to be that person, I feel like you've really grown out of it, or you've changed. And, you know, I feel like you're the kind of person that just wants to relax and, you know, take things easy and develop a steady routine and really take things day by day, you know, just live life, you know, like be more in the moment. And I definitely do think that that's how February is going to be for you. So I think I'm going to sum up this reading, pile one, by saying that February for you is going to be you're going to be in a flow state where you're just kind of going about your life, you know, and it's going to be really exciting, and you're going to be more in your power. And a lot of the excitement that I keep talking about will lay in the day-to-day, in the little things and the small moments that you share with yourself, your pets, or your loved ones. And just know that you're going to feel very empowered by it. It's going to be a very rejuvenating and invigorating month for you, and you'll feel a lot of wholeness within it with this 10 of Cups here. And I feel like with this Page of Pentacles, you'll have a lot of goals to be setting. I feel like this is a huge goal-setting month for you. I feel like with accomplishing goals, and I do think that with the 5 of Wands and 2 of Swords, there will be some indecision, and there will be some difficulty regarding, you know, where it is that you should go next. But I highly recommend that in February, you take things one day at a time. You will be doing that, but I definitely do think that there's an emphasis on that. You should embody that, and you shouldn't be too eager to make decisions based on what you want to do 5 months from now. You know, pile one, don't push yourself like that, and don't do things unrealistically. And what I mean by that is, don't prepare for something that you truly have no control over, and don't try to control things that are far beyond your comprehension and far beyond your knowledge. And not like in a literal sense, like, oh, you don't know anything about it, but you don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 months. Or, I have a video talking about the next 3 months, so if you want to watch that, but shameless plug. But what I'm trying to say is, like, you don't know what's truly going to be happening for the rest of this year. So don't plan for things for December. Don't plan for December. Don't plan for November. Don't plan for all those months. Or don't even, like, obviously, like, it's good to have goals, and, like, obviously it's good to plan ahead. But there's a certain point where you're just over planning, and you're, like, throwing away the moment to plan for something that you have no control over and you have no power to actually predict. So with this Five of Wands and Two of Swords, I feel like this will give way for some excessive stress and worry that is unnecessary. And obviously that comes with the flow state, worrying about the mundane. So let yourself live in the moment more, and let yourself understand that the problems that you'll be dealing with will kind of solve themselves. So yeah. I think that February is just going to be a really good month for you, and I feel like a lot of the problems you face in it will deal more with the mundane as opposed to, like, crazy things that impact your life and make you feel some sort of way. It'll just be like, oh, like, this happened, gotta go get it fixed, let's just deal with that. Like, oh, like, flat tire, just need to go get new tires, no big deal. Like, I got this random amount of money from my job recently, so I'll just use that. Or like, oh, like, my TV broke, I can just fix it. Like, I know this happens all the time. Like, oh, my phone is, like, exploding, but, like, I've been needing a new phone anyway, so I'll just go upgrade it. Oh, wow, like, you're gonna take all this, like, I only have to spend this much money on it. It's, like, not that big of a deal. Like, you won't really be bothered by a lot of the things that will be happening in February, and the things that you will be bothered by aren't even that big of a deal. So let yourself relish the fact that your problems will be really small and that your victories will be really big. So yeah, pile one, that's all I have for you. If the reading resonated and you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1K subscribers. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye. Hello, pile 2. If you chose the Ethereal Visions Tarot and this green adventurine tower / point, this is going to be your reading for your February of 2023. So actually, there is no so. Let's just get right into it. I pulled some oracle cards, so we're going to start with the oracles and then we'll get into the tarot. So for your oracle cards, we have New Moon in Capricorn, Step Up and Lead. Then we have Transition with the Cauliflower. We have Fourth Angel Chakra, Archangel Raphael. And then we have Family and A Fearful World. So the first thing that kind of came through to me is the number 4, because we have Cancer here, and that's the 4th zodiac, and then number 44, and that's the family card, ironically. So maybe not ironically, but I'm pointing that out because I feel like, one, you could have major Cancer placements, especially a Cancer moon, but that's for those that need the extra confirmation. But I feel like this month will be a lot about family for you, pile 2. I feel like February is going to have a huge emphasis on your focus on your family. I'm not gonna lie, with the New Moon in Capricorn card and the Fearful World, I almost wonder if you've had some particular, not issues, but kind of like some disagreements and some conflicts, or like not favorable and uncomfortable situations regarding your family. It doesn't have to be that y'all literally got into like a fight or anything like that, but I'm just picking up on that. It seems as if, though, that leading up until this point, pile 2, it was a very tumultuous time within your household, or those that you live with, or your family. And with this transition card here, I really do feel like in February, like, you're going to be moving away from that, and you'll kind of be moving forward and kind of letting go of those things, and kind of just like being more vulnerable and more compassionate, and people around you will be more vulnerable and compassionate, especially for some of you, your mother, if you've been dealing with issues with her. And I feel like with this 4th chakra, it definitely seems as if, though, your heart's going to come out more this month, and people will kind of understand that you're more sensitive, and you'll understand that others are more sensitive. Like, I just feel like February is going to be a lot more of an emotional time for you guys, and in a good way. And I feel like this Fearful World card here, it definitely seems as if though, like, it's kind of like loud compared to the other cards, because like it really does have this negative connotation to it, and it really does seem as if though, like, I'm even avoiding talking about this card. So I feel like in February it's very important that you don't avoid problems, or that you try to avoid situations that require your attention and your compassion. I feel like avoiding problems will make it worse, because I feel like these problems that you'll be dealing with aren't even problems, but because of your perspective and your aversion for dealing with them, it really will seem as if though, like, these situations will be a lot more worse than they actually are. And who knows, they might even be beneficial to you if you deal with them properly, pile 2. It's just like, and I feel like with the family cards here, I really do feel like this month won't. I pulled from this deck because I wanted to see what would come out for love life, and I really do feel like in February for you, pile 2, you may meet somebody through your family. Not saying that you're gonna like date a family member, but like, like, you'll have like your brother or like your cousin will be like, hey, meet my friend, and maybe you'll hit it off or something, or you're like your brother's best friend, or like your sister's best friend, or things like that. You'll meet somebody through a family member, and but that's for some of you, not all of you. I feel like that's very possible. I also feel like in February it might be possible that like somebody within your family is gonna be having a child, but that's kind of loose thought. Or if you've been looking to have a child, I feel like this will be a particularly good month for you all. Just be cautious that if you decide to have a child in February, like, you will have a Scorpio baby. LOL. Hi, it's me. I'm the Scorpio baby. But, that's the vibe that I'm trying to, that's like a thing. But, I also feel like some of you, if you already are, pregnant, like, I feel like this month you could possibly have a child. But obviously, like I said, that's for some of you, not all of you. Like, I don't want to, like, be reading for somebody who biologically can't have a kid, and I'm like, hey, like, you're having a kid, and you're like, huh? But what I'm trying to convey here is I feel like this will be a very family oriented month for a lot of you, and I feel like you'll meet a lot of people through your family, and a lot of opportunities and a lot of good things will come through your family. But I also feel like with the step up and lead card, it's very important that you capitalize and you kind of take initiative more this month. And it once again kind of refers back to the fact that if there are situations that require your attention, if you ignore them, like, they will become issues. They will become more problematic. I'm thinking of like, like, if you drive and on the freeway and you pass a toll bridge, the toll is only going to be like $4, and if you don't pay it off, it will just keep increasing. I know somebody that was like avoiding their tolls, and like a $5 fee became a $70 fee. It's like, if you choose to ignore issues, or if you choose to brush things off instead of deal with them right then and there, they will become more problematic, and they will become a little bit more expensive and a little bit more like taxing on you physically, emotionally, financially. And I feel like this is just a great month for you to kind of wrap things up in regards to situations that you may have been dealing with up until this point. Like I said, if you've been dealing with family matters, or if you've been dealing with relationship matters, if you've been dealing with money matters, I feel like this is a great month for you energetically, for you to kind of fix those things and turn those things around, kind of transform those things and transition away from them. I feel like I'm a story tarot reader. Like, I love telling stories while I'm doing readings to provide context, but there was this era of my life where I was just literally going through it, and I was like, I will change my life. I literally sat up and I was like, I will change my life. And that's what I did. Like, I started making my bed again. That particular day I went out and got crystals and groceries. One of those crystals is there. But, I'm trying to say, pile 2, if you want February to be a good month, it's an indifferent month for you. There's nothing in it that is happening with or without your consent. It's not that kind of month where like things will just kind of happen for you. It's more of like what you choose to make of it is exactly what it'll be, and how much effort you put into it is exactly how much you're going to get back, even after the month passes, you know? Like, I don't know, excuse me. I just feel like this month has like kind of like a very like pushy energy to it. I really do feel as if though like other people have been pushing you, pile two. Like I'm sensing like a lot of people have been pushing you to do things that you've been maybe putting off, or like things that you don't particularly want to do. I feel like it makes me think of like when parents push you to get your driver's license or something like that. You know, it's like, you know, whether or not that's the case for you, pile two, I'm just sensing that like it really does seem as if though people have been kind of pushing you to do things, and I really do feel like you don't need to listen to them, but you definitely do need to take initiative, and you definitely do need to understand that a lot of the circumstances that will happen in February will be a result of your actions and your decision making. So if you choose to be evasive, and if you choose to not step up to the occasion, like it will bite you in the arse later on. But if you choose to really step up, and if you choose to take the initiative to kind of change things around and move away from a very tumultuous period of your life, especially regarding your household and people you were close to, if you choose to move away from those things, and if you choose to make an effort to feel the feelings that come with that, good things will happen to you, especially regarding your emotional state of being. I feel like if we have Capricorn and Cancer here, like that just makes me think that you have like a Capricorn, no, you have like a Cancer Saturn, or if you have like a Capricorn Saturn, or if you just have like Capricorn and Saturn within your chart, especially within like your big three, like Sun, Moon, and Rising, especially your moon sign. I feel like those placements, like I feel like you will have dealt with a lot of things regarding your household, and I feel like those placements, like if you choose to ignore the responsibilities when it comes to your immediate household, like it will come back to you, you know, like it will like come back in a more different, like it will come back in a different form, you know. And I don't want to say all this to scare you, pile two, because like I really do think at the end of the day this is more of an empowering message, because I'm literally just saying that like you're in control of February, and that what you decide, if you want it to be a good month, it literally will be a good month. If you want it to be a bad month, like it will be a bad month, you know. It's not harsh, it's just indifferent, you know. It's like, and I feel like you understand that. I feel like you've been wanting that for a while. I feel like you've been wanting a month where you have control over your day to day, and you have control over how you feel and how things affect you. Because I feel like for a while you were kind of like under the influence of other people's word, or you're kind of at the mercy of other people's emotions, thoughts, feelings, all of the above. And I feel like you got really tired of it. So I definitely do think that in February, it's like, whatever really happens, I do think that there will be a breaking point for you. We kind of step up and you're like, you know what, I just don't want to live like this anymore. I'm going to change my circumstances. I'm going to manifest something new. I'm going to do something new. I'm sensing that a lot of you aren't that big into manifestation. I feel like if you chose the Green Adventurine, you're kind of more interested in making monies, or you're more interested in your physical or emotional well-being. Like I feel like you're just more concerned about feeling better, and you're more concerned about things within your household being better, and you know, not dealing with negativity with your household. You know, I feel like you're just like, I'm tired of living in a house where it's overly emotional, or I'm not feeling good. And for some of you, if we have transition plus Cancer here, I almost wonder if a lot of you will be planning for a move this month, or you'll be planning to go somewhere new, you know, like moving houses, or, you know, leaving a house, something like that. So yeah, I don't know. It just seems as if though this will be a very enlightening month for you, and it will be a month where I'm sensing like you'll try something, or you'll do something, and it will have great effect, and you'll kind of be intrigued by it, and you'll keep going about it, you know. Like, how do I say? The best analogy I have is you try something new, and like for example, you try a new skin product, and it does really nice things to your skin, so you're like, oh, let me take my skincare more seriously. Or like, you know, like you pick up a piece of trash in your house and suddenly you're cleaning the entire freaking house, you know. I'm very much picking up that vibe for you in February, in the sense that like you're gonna kind of start small, and you'll kind of like kick the ball, and once it starts rolling you'll be like, oh, I suddenly want to do this too. And then like next thing you know, like the ball's like rolling down a hill, you know. It's just like, it will start small for you in February, but it really will dictate a lot of how the rest of your year goes, because it'll be such an empowering month, and it'll be a powerful month for you to set intentions, especially regarding your home and your finances and your emotional well-being, just like your physical and emotional well-being. So yeah, I'm going to take these cards away and I'm going to get right into the tarot. That was kind of intense. That was a more intense reading. Okay. This deck is freaking huge. This is like my second ever tarot deck. I got it right after the Mystic Mondays tarot. My favorite deck ever. I remember for a while I didn't know how to read tarot, and this deck didn't come with a good guidebook, and I was like struggling. But now that I know how to read tarot, I'm like, oh, this deck is so much fun. We love this. Okay. And like every YouTuber like has this tarot deck. It's just so popular. It's so beautiful, and it's only like $20. So yeah. What's going on in pile 2's February? 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 Okay, I'm going to start pulling cards. We have Queen of Swords in reverse for that card. And then we have Ace of Pentacles, Justice, Three of Swords, the Strength card. Ooh, I like this so far. The Devil. Yeah, Capricorn is very prominent in this reading. You could be a Capricorn. Eight of Pentacles. And then we have the Ace of Wands. And then, wow, I forgot how beautiful this deck is. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have Page of Pentacles. Does it look straight? Does it look fine to you guys? I'm gonna... Anyways, pile 2. I feel like... Yeah, it definitely seems as if though leading up until this point, you really did deal with a lot of things. You dealt with a lot of treacherous subjects, especially regarding a father figure. And especially... I don't know, like something about this reading is just telling me you really dealt with a lot regarding your family, especially your parents, and or people that are kind of like taking care of you, you know, if you're like younger. But I also feel like for a good majority of you, like this retains like reference to your parents. Like you don't have to live with your parents or anything like that, but I'm just sensing that like regardless of the case, like it really does seem as if though that a good portion of you dealt with a lot of things regarding your parents and like maybe even your siblings. Just something about your family was really stressing you out up until this point, pile 2. And I'm sensing with the Ace of Wands, Pentacles, the Ace of Wands and Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, and Strength card. These are really telling me that like February is going to be you just pushing forward. You know, obviously we have the Devil card here and the Three of Swords. Let's just talk about that for a second. Okay, let me tell you what I'm feeling with these cards. The thing that I'm feeling with these cards is it seems to be referring to things that you have dealt with. And honestly, if I'm going to be 100% transparent with you, pile 2, this energy will carry forward for a little bit longer. Like this energy will draw out a little bit longer. But I feel like to a less effective degree, because I really do think that you've grown from it, you know? It's like you've grown not an immunity, but a resistance to it, you know? I feel like you very much have... That's why I pointed out the first 4 cards, the Pentacles and the Strength and the Ace of Wands. I'm saying those cards first because I really want to express to you that it really does seem as if though you've learned a lot and you've overcome a lot of obstacles, you know, especially like I said, regarding your family, regarding your finances, regarding just your material world, especially your room in like your home if you have Cancer within your chart. And I just feel like you've dealt with a lot of things and you've really grown a skin to it and you've really calloused your heart and you've really dealt with a lot of heartbreaks with this Three of Swords here, you know. And the Devil card, I really do think that this month will be about breaking from bad habits. And with the Queen of Swords in reverse here, don't be this month, be careful of how you communicate and how you speak to people, because I'm sensing that your words can really hurt people, because you have a very sharp tongue and you're very intelligent, and I'm just sensing that this knowledge that you harbor should be used for good this month. And when it is used for good, it will create some surprising opportunities for finances and passion, especially if you want to like start a creative project or you want to make more money. And I'm just sensing that like you have the potential to create those if you use the very things that you use to defend yourself. You don't need to defend yourself against anyone anymore, pile 2. If people in your life want to draw out a situation that is long over now, then it really has nothing to do with you at that point, and it's about them, you know? I'm just sensing that with this Justice card, everything will work out. It's not your place to kind of set things straight anymore. It's not your place to constantly be the mediator. It's not your place to set things straight within your work, within your family, anything like that. It's not your job anymore. Like, stop trying to mediate situations that you aren't even a part of, because all it's doing is involving you in extra drama that you literally don't need to be a part of. And with the Page of Pentacles here, I feel like there's something in your life that you want. I feel like there's something that you're longing for, but you're too afraid to work at it, or you're too afraid to admit it. You're too afraid to create an opportunity. And, you know, whether or not you're afraid, actually, I just feel like there's something that you're longing for, and it's going to require you to kind of let go of something, especially a bad habit. I'm sensing for some of you, maybe you have like bad spending habits, and I feel like that's definitely something to take a look at this month, and something to, you know, be more conscious of. And I'm not saying that like don't spend your money, you know, like it's not my place to tell you what to do with your money, pile 2, but I'm picking up on this reading that if you want for things regarding your finances to kind of work out more correctly, you have to treat your money better. If you the way you treat your money is the way your money is going to treat you, you know? I feel like you have a very particular and a very specific relationship with finances. And so I'm sensing that like there's no one out there that can truly tell you how to manage your money better than you, in the sense that you know what to do when it comes to your money. You're just choosing not to do it. And I feel like it's very important that you kind of learn how to, you know, control yourself and practice discipline with it. And I feel like if you do that, if you put the work in, literally like a drop of work will give you all of the, how do I say, all of the reward, you know? It will be so little effort for so much payback, good payback, you know, it's payoff, I mean. But I'm just sensing that February is just going to be a very enlightening month for you. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it'll just be so like empowering, and you'll learn so much, and you'll overcome so much, and you'll finally realize that something is just not your problem anymore. And I feel like with this Ace of Pentacles and Ace of Wands, you're gonna start something new, and that'll just like catapult you into so many great things for the rest of the year, you know? It's like, you won't start, let me be real with you, pile 2, this is for some of you, not all of you. You won't start making a lot of money right away, but I feel like you're gonna understand the longevity of the situation you're starting, and you'll know the payoff that it will have later on. I feel like the smaller like you're gonna start small this month, but I feel like you're a very tenacious and patient person, and with time it'll pay off, and with discipline and effort, like you will make a lot of money, like in like the last bit of the year, like you'll be making cash, but the second half of the year, like that's when you'll really start to notice like, wow, I'm making money, you know? Even after February, like you'll kind of realize like, wow, like I'm slowly growing my finances, you know? Like get like a $1 raise, it's still a raise, you know? It's like, you know, if you're getting paid 15 an hour and you get a $1 raise, you know, for every like 8-hour shift, you're making like $8 more, you know? It's like that's $8 more, you know? It's like not a lot, but you're kind of realizing that like if you keep going about it and you keep getting raises, you keep making more monies, like it will slowly start building up, you know? And I'm not saying that like that's exactly how much you're making right now. It doesn't matter how much you're making. The point is like what really matters is your tenacity. Is that the word? Tenaciousness? I don't know. But like your patience will really pay off this year, and especially in this month. I'm sensing that this month has the power to dictate kind of the rest of your year, honestly. But I'm also sensing that Queen of Swords in reverse, once again, like a fair warning, like don't, like, think before you speak this month, pile 2. Be careful about what you say to people, and be careful about what people say to you. This is a huge, like, I'm sensing like Mercury retrograde energy. We're not going to be going through a Mercury retrograde, but I very much think that leading up until, like, in February, there is a lot of potential for miscommunication and a lot of potential for your words to come off wrong and for you to really hurt somebody or for you to get really hurt, you know? It's like, if someone hurts your feelings, pile 2, don't get defensive, don't get angry, don't lash out at them. That's not going to do anything. It's just going to cause more conflict, and it's going to give way for some bad habits to come back out. So I'm sensing that in February, if you make a conscious effort to combat your bad habits and, you know, let go of the pain and the BS that you dealt with leading up until this point, you'll be severely rewarded in opportunities and motivation to push forward with the things that you want to do and the strength to keep going. But if you keep participating in your bad habits, it'll just prolong an issue and a lesson that you really don't need to learn again because you've already learned, you know? It's just about applying it, and it's about moving forward with intention, you know? Move forward with conviction in this month, and I feel like that's very much what it's gonna be. I feel like the advice I'm giving you could also be taken for what's literally gonna happen. I feel like in February, like, it's just like you're gonna move forward with more intention, and like your conviction is just gonna be razor sharp, and you're gonna know what you want to do, and I feel like that will bring you a lot of comfort because, like, it'll be easier to kind of like bring the gray into the situation and stop like looking at blurred lines and looking at like things that make no sense, you know? There will be no more confusion this month. The fog will lift in February, pile 2, and you'll see exactly what you're working with, and I feel like that's what you need, and it will really put into perspective like what you need and what you don't need. I'm like listening to, like, I keep hearing that lyric from Rolling in the Deep by Adele where she says like, count your blessings to see what you look for. I very much feel like once the fog lifts, that's what you're going to be able to do in February, pile 2. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up this reading by saying that pile 2, your February is just going to be very empowering, and it's going to be very like clear and very like perceptive, and like a lot of like perspective will be provided to you because a lot of things will become clear to you, crystal clear, no pun intended, but especially regarding your home life, your family, your finances, and your work ethic, and the way you communicate with people. I feel like all those things will kind of be put on the spotlight this month, and I feel like once that happens, you'll know exactly what it is that you need to do moving forward. And I feel like in that sense, February is going to be kind of a flow month for you in the sense that like you're going to be working through a lot of things that you've already dealt with, and like you're just going to be letting go of a lot of excessive baggage, especially regarding like negative situations that you faced in the past. So yeah, February is just going to be a very healing month for you, and you're finally going to be able to let go of things that like really felt like you were never going to be able to. So yeah, that's all I have for you, pile 2. Thank you so much for watching. If the reading resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1K subscribers, so you know, come along for the ride. But other than that, thank you so much for watching again. I love you so much. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the Luminous Spirit Oracle and this Angel Aura, I think it's called Quartz. I don't know if it's Quartz, but then this is going to be your reading for your 2023 February. It's going to happen, kind of predictions. So I pulled quite a few Oracle cards today. By that I mean like 5. So let's get right into it. You know the vibe. So for your Oracle cards, we have Full Moon in Libra, find a balance. Communication with the P. The Contract. Or not the contract, the contract, you know what I'm saying? Fear. And Inside Looking Out. So right off the bat, pile 3, I feel like with this, okay, I have to tell you this, but you're the only one that drew an air moon. What do I mean by that is, like, you know, you're the only one that pulled Libra. All of the other piles literally had an earth sign moon. So I feel like maybe you have a Libra moon, or maybe you have prominent Libra placements in your chart, because there's like a lot of Libra themes in this reading with the contract card, with communication. There's scales right here. But I feel like for a good portion of you, February is going to be a very introspective month for you. I feel like it's just going to be like another waiting game, and I'm sensing that that's not what you want to hear. But I feel like this time around, the waiting game is going to be a little bit different. It seems as if, though, it's not going to be like you sitting there waiting for something to happen. It's more of like you're going to be just kind of like seeing what's going on, and you're going to be kind of like it makes me think of like a kid waiting to get inside somewhere. I don't know, like you're like too afraid to knock on a door. Like you're too afraid, like you're going trick or treating, you're too afraid to ring the doorbell, you know? And I feel like with this fear card here, I definitely do think that that'll be a theme for your love life in February. I feel like there's going to be a lot of hesitation to do things in February. And I feel like with this inside looking out, it really does seem as if though you're going to be kind of a homebody in February. I feel like you're going to be more motivated to stay home, you know, like think of things. But I also think that with this like I'm just like all over the place with this reading. I almost wonder if that's how your February is going to be, at least on a mental level, not necessarily like at the 3D level. I feel like your mind's going to be going like 100 miles a minute. Sorry, I just yawned. That was like a really intense yawn too. Honestly, Libra, I feel like February is just going to be a huge month of rest. I'm sensing that a good portion of you are a little bit overworked. And I'm sensing that some of you have been nose to the grindstone more than anyone else, honestly. I feel like out of all the piles, you're going to be the pile that's been working the most. And I feel like with this communication card here, maybe it deals with communication, and maybe you've been dealing with situations regarding that, you know, like regarding our communication, talking to people, you know, getting through to people, especially in the workplace. I feel like with the contract card here, I feel like a lot of justice will be served. I feel like if you've been waiting for something, if you've been waiting to sign something, if you've been waiting to, you know, like seal the deal on something, I definitely do feel as if though this month you'll get a lot of perspective and you'll get a lot of context provided to you regarding those things, you know? Like, for example, like if you've been wanting to sign the lease to an apartment, or, you know, like sign some paperwork for a car, or like sign some paperwork for your work, or sign some paper, you know, it just something about paperwork and something about doing work that deals with more office themed things and things that are more, you know, about legal things and big purchases. I feel like if you've been wanting to do those things, this month will provide a lot of context to you, and it'll probably make you realize as to why it's been so long since you've been able to do it, or like why you've been having to wait so long, you know? It's like, oh, that's why I couldn't get into that apartment, because they were doing construction on it, or they were remodeling it, or all their systems were down for a really long time and they had to like recatch all that information, especially like at like when you're watching this, we just went through, you know, Mercury retrograde, and we're still in the shadow period, honestly. So I feel like you're still kind of recovering from that, and I feel like February is heavily going to be about you kind of making a move forward and you deciding what you need to do moving forward. I feel like this will be a kind of waiting game where you plan the rest of your year out, and you're kind of like, okay, it's already February of 2023. Like, I need to buckle down and I need to think about what I'm trying to do for the rest of the year and what I want to do, you know? I feel like you're a very serious person, and I feel like you're somebody who takes the material realm very seriously. I think that you take making money extremely seriously, and I feel like you're not one to play with when it comes to those things. I feel like you don't like, you know, messing around when it comes to money, when it comes to work, when it comes to communication, and getting your point across to people and being heard. But I do think that in your love life, you'll be kind of hesitant. If you're already with somebody, I definitely do feel like your love life will kind of flourish and you'll find a balance in it. I feel like this month a lot of things will be settled, and a lot of things will kind of be like neutralized, and I feel like you won't deal with that much drama this month. But I do feel as if though, like, if you are trying to get into a relationship, or if you're trying to meet somebody, you're gonna be met with a lot of pushback and a lot of hesitance within yourself. And I feel like that's because of like the way you're balancing your life out. I think that if you're gonna want a prosperous love life in February, or if like you want to invest into your love life, it's really important that you set the intention now as opposed to later, in the sense that like if you balance things out and you plan for the rest of the year and you completely leave out your love life, then that's how it's gonna be pile 3, sorry, you know? it's like you planned ahead so much and you know what you're gonna do, but you completely left out your love life, and it's just like now you don't know what to do. Like, you know, like now you don't have time for your love life because you didn't bring it into your schedule. You didn't like make a conscious effort to focus on it. You know, it makes me think of like, you know, when you're with somebody, like when you're like you plan your whole life out and then someone comes into your life and like you had all these plans to do these things by yourself and do that and this, and you know you were gonna do it, you know, without anybody, and then suddenly like someone comes in and, you know, sweeps you off your feet, and then you gotta like replan everything and like recalibrate, you know, go back to the drawing board because like there's now a new body and a new mouth to feed in the picture, you know. But if you make a more flexible plan moving forward, in the sense like, oh, like, you know, if this happens, I'll just do this. You know, if I meet somebody, I'll just do this, you know. Otherwise, you'll be meet with a lot of like internalized hesitance and a lot of fear. And but yeah, February just seems like it's gonna be a month where you kind of plan things out. Like, I really am not sensing that February is gonna be like it's gonna be a pretty mundane month for you, pile 3. I feel like with the inside looking out card, excuse me, I don't know why I keep yawning. I've yawned twice in this pile, and that is more than I've yawned in all the other piles. Like I haven't yawned in any of the other piles. So pile 3, you may be very tired, and I feel like in February it's crucial you take a break. It's crucial you pump the brakes and you take a second and you rest a little bit more. And you kind of provide yourself a lot of perspective and, you know, like go hermit mode, you know, where you're kind of like to yourself, only talking to people that really matter to you, and kind of like being a little bit more cautious, you know, about who you allow into your inner circle and who you allow to, you know, get a slice of your energy. And with this contract card here, I feel like, I don't know, like I'm kind of excited for you, pile 3. I feel like February, it's not going to be a particularly exciting month, but what it will do is build up hype for things to come, you know. It's like, oh, like nothing's happened in February, but I know now this is going to happen in July. I know this is going to happen in September. I know, wow, like I'm planning this, like I'm planning a huge trip to go somewhere in, you know, like June, you know, I want to drive here in July, you know. I just feel like this month is to kind of map out things moving forward, and it will kind of like build a lot of hype for you, build you a lot of enthusiasm, and really rejuvenate you, you know. I feel like you haven't been able to think about the things that you want to do and places you want to go, because I feel like you're somebody who's very impulsive and you're somebody who's very excited and somebody who's very hardworking. Like you work hard and you party even harder, I feel. And I feel like you haven't been able to do the party part and you've just been working really hard. So I feel like February will kind of give you a second to pump the brakes and be like, hey, yo, like I want to party more. I want to go out more. You know, like whatever party means to you. Party to me literally means doing readings on my bed with some crystals, watching like YouTube videos. That's a party for me. But, you know, if party for you is going to the club and getting turned, listening to Sweetie, you know, that's your version of a party. And that's what you want to do moving forward, you know? And I don't know, like, I'm just sensing like this month is not particularly, like I said, it's more of a grown-up month. It's more of a responsibility-oriented month where you're kind of like, okay, this is how much money I'm going to be making. This is how much money I have now. This is how much time I have now. I have to do this and this and this. But once I'm done with this, I can do this, you know? And wow, I'll have enough saved up to go here for the summer. Or, wow, I can do this in the summer. I can sign this in the summer. I can move out of here in the summer. You know, I just feel like this is a month where you kind of get a lot of perspective and you get a lot of insight as to what you want to do moving forward. I feel like the things that you've been wanting to do and you feel like you're blocked from it, this month will like provide you a lot of perspective on like, wow, like now I understand why. Like now I know how I can go about this, you know? Like if you've been wanting to buy something big or move out or do like something that is very transformative and something that's like related to big changes, like this month will finally provide you like the information to where you know how you can take that first leap of faith or that first step, you know? And once that happens, it's like February will all of a sudden be a very productive and exciting month for you. But I feel like I said, it's going to be one that maybe stresses you out a little bit and kind of freaks you out a little bit because there's a lot of leaps of faith you're going to have to take and a lot of decisions to be made. But I feel like in the grand scheme of things, I really do think that you'd rather be agitated, deciding and balancing things out than just sitting there with everything in complete harmony, especially if you do have Libra in your chart. I feel like Libra placements are like harmony, peace, love, serenity, but then like the minute like peace, love, serenity is provided, they're like, girl, why is there peace, love, serenity? Why can't it be chaotic again, you know? This is no fun. Sorry, I was like staring at my glasses. But yeah. Let's get right into the tarot. I'm going to move these all out the way. I've been reading the tarot cards a lot differently today. It's kind of fun. Yeah. I don't riffle shuffle this deck. I shuffle all my decks differently depending on how they are and how they're sized and how they're gilded. I don't know. Are you doing Aquarius, Venus, pile 3? That was okay. What's going on in February for pile 3? What is going on in February for pile 3? What is going on in February for pile 3? Tell me about pile 3's February. What's going on in it? Alright. What's the tea? We have 9 of Wands. Absolutely. King of Pentacles. 4 of Wands. 2 of Cups. Ooh. Queen of Cups. I almost wonder if pile 3 you're looking to make a decision with like a lover or something. Or like if you know like you are in a relationship, you're looking to like make a big decision with them. Like whether that be like marriage, moving in together, something of the sorts. 5 of Wands. And I almost wonder why that's why you're kind of stressed out, because like you're planning for it. The Hanged Man. And 3 of Wands. Okay, when I pull the Hanged Man, the thing that I always love about this card is, do you see how he's suspended from this stick or like this wand? It's water. And so what I'm trying to convey with that is, don't let your emotions control you this month, and don't let your emotions hang you up too much this month. Communicate your feelings, be honest about them. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have the Moon. Oh my gosh, pile 3. Your reading is beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Literally, I just feel like in February, like, you're going to learn so much about what you're trying to do moving forward, and so much perspective will be provided to you if you are honest with yourself. If you clearly communicate your feelings, if you clearly lay out on the table to yourself or to other people, hey, this is what I want to do, and this is how I feel, this is what I want. And then with the Moon card, I feel like how transparent you're willing to be in February is exactly how much information you'll get back. If you tell your deepest, darkest secrets, you will receive others' deepest, darkest secrets. And that will just like clear up a lot of confusion and like a lot of miscommunications. February is going to be a very good month for you, pile 3. I must say, with this 2 of Cups here, you very well may meet somebody, or you very well may have already met somebody. I'm feeling like for the vast majority of you, it's like deepening a connection with somebody or meeting somebody to deepen the connection. And I feel like I drew this Fear card because it's trying to convey the message that like you want to take it a step further with this person, but you don't know how to because you're nervous. And I feel like this once again goes back to the whole idea of the fact that you need to be more open about your emotions and wear your heart on your sleeve, be more clear and communicative, or communicative, is that the word? More transparent, because I feel like the more unclear you are, the more unclear everybody around you and the situations will become. And I feel like with the 9 of Wands here and King of Pentacles, I'm sensing that in February, for a lot of you, you're gonna like let go of a lot of struggles regarding to finances. I feel like you're gonna be reimbursed in February. I feel like you're going to like reach the end of the how do I say it, like reach the end of a journey that was very tumultuous and very stressful for you. And with this Five of Wands here, I feel like, wow, I'm getting so many messages. Like with the Five of Wands here, I feel like there's been a lot of conflict, and I feel like this conflict will easily arise if you keep being dishonest, or if you keep being indecisive, if you keep being like, like if you don't go with your first gut reaction, it literally will not work. It literally will not go the way you want it to, and you will get confused, and it will cause a lot of miscommunication. If you look at something, like for example, you see a sweater you really like, and if you look at it and you feel it right away, you're like, I like this sweater a lot. But if you take 5 more seconds and be like, do I really like it? You will be confused, you won't know what to do, and you'll miss out on a great sweater. Okay, pile 3, that's what I'm trying to convey to you. If you don't go with your first gut instinct in February, like, you will be indecisive, and you will be in a constant state of conflict, and you will not be able to make the most satisfactory decision for you or the people around you, because you'll be second guessing yourself. Don't second guess yourself in February, pile 3. I'm also sensing that, like, with this Nine of Wands here, like I said, like, I think that February is kind of a last stretch kind of month before things really start to get better for you. And I don't mean that in like, oh, like February is going to be another like treacherous month. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be like, like not a vibe. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that like, it's going to be a month where things are starting to get wrapped up, but you'll still face some inconveniences along the way, but not on the same severity level as inconveniences you faced leading up until this point. So I feel like February is really all about wrapping those situations up and really like working through the problems and working through it and be like, hey, let's get through this. Because the first card I drew is a Nine of Wands, but the last card I drew was a Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is all about practice. And it's interesting because there's water and a gem at the top of the wands. So what that's telling me is you'll reach a very like healthy emotional state of being, and you'll make money if you're very clear about your intentions and you communicate yourself and articulate yourself in a clear fashion. And I also feel like with this Queen of Cups here, I do think that this will be a more sensitive month for you. I feel like you'll be feeling a lot more in February. I feel like maybe, pile 3, you're not a very emotional person. You may be kind of detached, or you may be somebody who doesn't feel too often. Maybe feelings make you uncomfortable, but I'm sensing that in February, it'll just be a very good month for you. And I feel like you'll be more in tune with your emotions. They'll come out more. And I feel like because of that, like a lot of things will become more clear to you. Let me get a sip of tea. Hold on. It's cold now, but that's okay. But I feel like with this Four of Wands here, it'll be a very fruitful month in its own way. I feel like knowledge-wise, it'll be very fruitful. And I feel like once you learn a lot, pile 3, I feel like when you're packed with knowledge, and I feel like when you learn a bunch of new things, I feel like that's how you manifest things. I feel like once you like read a book or something, things in your life seemingly change, When you read a really important email, things in your life seemingly change, Because your perspective changes, and when your perspective changes, things literally change because we create our own reality, honestly. At least at this point. And with this Four of Wands here, I really am sensing that like you'll build a lot happier foundation in February. I feel like February is just going to be very much more relaxing, and I feel like you're going to come down from a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety that you've been facing up until this point. I don't know how else to put it, pile 3. Like, your reading just feels like very cut to the chase, because I feel like there's no need to like overly elaborate on something that like is just like a clean cut, few words worth of messages. And yeah, I don't know. It just feels like February is gonna be kind of like a flow month. I've been saying that in all of the piles today, but I feel like for you it's a little bit different. I feel like you're gonna be working a little bit less, or like you'll be able to take a break at your job, or take a break within some aspect regarding to making money or whatever you do for a hustle. And it's like, on the flip side, if you haven't been working, you'll be able to pick up more hours and you'll be able to work more. I feel like that's kind of the two things I'm picking up on here. If you've been working a lot, you'll be able to take a break. If you haven't been working that much and you want to work more, you'll be able to work more. But I feel like the general consensus right here is the fact that the collective that chose this pile, you'll be able to do what it is that you've been wanting to do, and you'll be able to relax or work more based on how you've been feeling. And I feel like, if you've been working a lot more and you want to keep working more, because like, I just feel like it's not a very good month to push yourself, pile 3. I feel like with the 9 of Wands, you have been pushing yourself. And like, if you keep pushing yourself, it will lead to a lot of indecision. Like, we have a lot of Wands here. We have half the cards here are Wands. And the way they're arranged is very interesting too. So you could be a Sagittarius, you could be a Leo, you could be an Aries. I feel like there's a lot of fire in this, and a lot of water. So I feel like a lot of your emotions, like even in the Hangman, like there's a wand here. So I definitely feel it as if though like you'll have a very passionate way of going about February, and I feel like it's very important that you utilize your energy in a very efficient manner, otherwise you'll burn yourself out. And I also feel like with this 2 of Cups here, like you may meet somebody very sweet, or you may like sweeten things up with somebody that you're already with. I feel like a lot of passion will come back to you, and I feel like a lot of happiness will come back to you, and I feel like you'll get a lot of designated time with the people that you care about in general. Like the 2 of Cups doesn't always have to be about like romance or like a romantic partner. I feel like it could also be like, with the Queen of Cups, it could be your mother. Maybe you'll get a lot of sweet time with your mom. Maybe for some of you, like if you have a girl best friend, like you'll be able to spend more time with her and you'll have a lot of fun with her. Or maybe you have like a guy best friend that's very emotional and like radiates a lot of feminine energy. The Queen of Cups is just referring to the fact that there's somebody in your life, I feel, pile 3, that is a little bit emotional and very sweet, and I feel like you'll have a lot of time for this person. And I also feel like on the flip side, you yourself will be a lot more emotional, and you'll be a lot more sweet and a lot more vulnerable. And I feel like when that happens, like you'll be able to let your guard down, and I feel like it'll feel really good to let your guard down in February, because like you'll open up your heart to so much sweetness and like compassion and money. And with the Moon card here, it's like, as long as you just mind your own business, a lot of things will come up to you, and a lot of like information that you've been wanting to know like will come to you. And I feel like with the Hanged Man card here, it's very important that like you bite your tongue in some situations. Like obviously I don't want to contradict the reading, like, oh, like you should communicate more, but like bite your tongue more. But I feel like what I'm really trying to say is like, understand your cues and understand when it's like important for you to like express yourself and when it's not important to express yourself. And obviously not to say like there's a time where like your feelings are like trivial or like not important, but I just feel like what this reading is trying to convey is that there's a time and place for everything, and you know that, and it's very important that you apply that logic moving forward, so that way February goes as smoothly as possible for you, pile 3. So yeah, I think I'm going to sum up your reading by saying that February is just going to be like a very enlightening month, and it will provide a lot of context for things that you want to do moving forward in regards to your finances, the people you care about, and your physical and emotional well-being. It's very similar to pile 2, honestly, so if you felt called to pile 2, like, I highly recommend it. I see a lot of y'all in pile 2, but that's up to you. But February's going to be a lot better. I feel like you're going to get a lot of insight and a lot of enlightenment regarding those things I've been talking about, like your money, your work, and the people you care about, your well-being, your health. All of those things will kind of be highlighted in February, but like not in the sense that like, oh, like it will more highlight how much effort you've put in, and you'll see a lot of the fruits of your labor coming out in February, and you'll kind of realize how much work you've actually put in, and you'll be able to pump the brakes more. And once that happens, you'll start learning more, because you'll have the time and energy to kind of read into things, learn about things, research things. And once that happens, like you'll learn a lot, and you'll set a lot of good intentions for the rest of your year, pile 3. So I'm sensing that February is just kind of like not a filler month, but a month that will provide you with information so that moving forward you'll know what to do. It'll be more of a feminine month where you kind of like, sit with yourself and draw the power from within instead of just going out and doing things, because I feel like you can only do so much, and I feel like you've done all you can up until this point, pile 3. So yeah, just know February is just going to be a very like knowledgeable month, and it will teach you a lot, and a lot of great things will be learned in this month, pile 3. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, pile 3. If the reading resonated, then like, comment, and subscribe. Sorry, I was like thinking what to say. If the reading resonated, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1K subscribers, so come along with me on this journey. Let's have fun together. I don't know, like, but yeah. Other than that, thank you so much for watching again, and I love you. Bye. Hello, pile 4. If you chose the Lua Tarot and the Amethyst Point, then this is going to be your reading. I'm really excited to get into your reading. Like, the vibes I picked up from it, let's just get right into it. I'm going to get into the tarot in a second here, but I really want to get into the oracle cards here. So I pulled a few. So let's just get right into it. So for your cards, we have first quarter moon in Virgo, assess the situation. Oh, sorry, my plant. And then we have cleansing lemon, with the lemon here. And then we have angel of strength, confusion, and then we have left out with the wolves. So, okay, the first thing I need to tell you, Pile 4, this is so weird. So when I was picking up your oracle cards to come do your reading, because I like lay them out, I don't know. And then with the angel of strength card here, it's really interesting because I thought this said angel of situation for some reason. And I don't know why, but I felt like that was significant in the sense that I feel like in February, it's really going to be a live in the moment kind of month. I feel like for a lot of you, like, you'll be just dealing with things as they come. I feel like in February, like, your manifestation powers are going to be so potent. And I feel like I'm sensing with this left out with the wolves card here and assess the situation and cleansing. Wow. I'm feeling for a lot of you, you have cut off a lot of people. You've gotten rid of people. Like, you have just cut off anything and everything that had nothing to do with your well-being. Like, for example, you were drinking soda for a while and you were like, girl, I'm just done with it. Like, it's not doing anything for me. It's ruining my skin. It's messing with my teeth. It's just like not good for me. I don't even feel good anymore when I drink it. So I feel like you're like, I'm just not going to drink soda anymore. Or like, wow, like this friend of mine, like, they never text me. They never want to talk to me. The only time they talk to me is when they need something. The only time that we go out is when I'm paying, and the only time they want to pull up is when I say I'm paying, you know? It's like, you know, like, you've just done so much work on the 3D and so much work on getting rid of situations and people that have nothing to do with your happiness. And I feel like now that you're kind of looking at things for what they are, maybe it's a little bit confusing. I pulled this card for your love life because, you know, I don't know if you care about your love life, but I still wanted to throw in there because I do think that it's a valuable piece of information. And I feel like your love life will be kind of confusing, honestly, Pile 4. I feel like if it's been confusing, this confusion will continue forward in this month. But I feel like the confusion will be a little different in the sense that with this assess the situation and me talking about how you probably have cut off people and situations and things that have nothing to do with you, I feel like that will cause a lot of confusion because maybe you struggle with people pleasing, or maybe you're somebody who is just really like there for people and you draw a lot of like inspiration and like form a lot of your own opinions based on what other people think is best for you. And like I said, that's for some of you, not like I said, but you know, that's for some of you, not all of you. I don't want that to come off wrong, but the message I'm trying to convey from that is like, because you've gotten rid of so much, your needs and your desires have probably changed. And I feel like that's why February is going to be kind of like disorienting for you, especially since like it's such a love oriented month. And I feel like with the amount of like Mercury we have here, Gemini, Virgo, you're just probably not somebody who's overly invested in love. And I feel like maybe if you catch feelings for someone, or if like you think about your love life, it'll just be too confusing. And I feel like you're like, girl, I do not want to focus on it. Or like, oh wow, like what is this feeling, you know? But for those of you that did pick this path and you are interested in your love life, I really do feel like it'll be kind of like a disorienting time. And I feel like it'll be kind of inappropriate for you to jump into things right away, because I feel like this will be such like it'll be a spring cleaning type of situation for you. But I must also say that with this angel of strength card here, that's not to say that like you won't be able to manifest love, because I feel like I said, your energy is going to be very potent this month, and I feel like your manifestation powers are going to be through the roof. Like, I'm thinking like 100% concentrate, simply lemonade, you know? Also, I found myself picking at my nail a little bit. I usually don't do that. So I feel like it's very important that in February you aren't not nervous, but like what I mean by that is take steps to relax yourself and to really comfort and soothe yourself. Don't sit there a nervous wreck, okay? Don't sit there with your anxiety. Like, it's okay to sit there with your anxiety and invite it in, you know? Sit with it. Sit with why you're uncomfortable, but don't let it overtake you. Don't let your anxiety make any decisions for you. And not to diagnose you or anything, like, if you don't have anxiety, maybe you're just, like, nervous, or maybe you're just, like, you know, anxious about something. But, you know, for those of you that, like, are overly worried or overly panicked, like, sit with it. It is just a feeling. It is okay. It cannot hurt you. It's just trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you safe, and that's totally valid. You know, that's a good thing, you know. I think that, like, for example, if you were, like, next to an erupting volcano, I think I would rather be anxious than sitting there normal, because then if I was, like, sitting there not feeling anything, that I would be like, wow, like, this is just not a way of living, you know. I'd rather be anxious so I can get myself to run away. But that was really off tangent. Sorry, pile 4. But with this Angel of Strength card here, like, I just feel like this will be a very potent month for you. I feel like it'll really be a very self-empowering month. And with the cleansing card here, I almost wonder if you guys will pick up new routines regarding your physical health. So, like, maybe you'll try out new products for your skin. Maybe you'll try out new body wash or new soap or something like that. Or maybe you'll pick up something in your skin routine, like face masks or, like, feet mask or, like, hand masks or something like that. They have a mask for everything, child. But I also think that, like, if you do have, like, a Virgo moon or, like, a Mercury moon or, like, a Mercury... If you have, like, any Mercury in your big 3, like Gemini and Virgo, first of all, you're very smart. Second of all, it's very important that you don't stress yourself out too much in February. And I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen. I don't mean to say, like, don't stress yourself out, but I feel like that's what's going to happen in February. Like, I feel like, it keeps giving me this vibe of, like, you're talking to someone, you're, like, stressed out talking to it, and you're like, you're not stressing me out in my own phone. I'm blocking you. Bye. Like, if you do have Virgo in your chart, like, that just means that you have a deep, profound relationship with the block button. Like, I've never not met a Virgo that has at least, like, 50 million people blocked. I remember I dealt with, like, a Virgo dude, and, like, within, like, 15 minutes of, like, breaking up, he blocked me on everything, even though I literally did nothing except, like, tell him how I felt. I guess he just took it personally. But, you know, I've met a lot of people with Virgo, and, like, they're just so, like, in love with that block button. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like on Instagram, when a Virgo gets social media, they shouldn't even have that notification. Like, after you press block, it says, are you sure you want to block this account? I feel like they shouldn't even have that are you sure moment. Because once a Virgo already has reaching for the block button, it's going to happen and it's inevitable. So yeah, that's just my opinion. But anyways, back to the reading. Sorry, I digress. I feel like I keep getting sidetracked in this reading more than the other piles, honestly. And I feel like in February, maybe your attention span will kind of be, like, through the roof. I feel like you're going to be, like, on the go this month. I feel like you're going to be focusing on different things at different times. I don't know how to describe it. It's like you'll be on to one thing, and then, like, oh, like, wow, look at this, you know, and then that will catch your attention. So I think it's very important that, like, you focus and that you keep your attention straight, because otherwise it'll lead to a lot of confusion and it'll lead to a lot of unnecessary miscommunications. And I also feel like with this left out with the Wolves card here, I am also picking up on, like, this bitterness or, like, this resentment you feel towards people in your life, pile 4. This could be this is for some of you, not all of you, but it's a very specific message. Because I feel like for a vast majority of you, like, what I'm picking up on, like, it doesn't matter what caused it. The specific message lies within whatever caused this feeling. But I feel like for a good portion of you, like, you've dealt with a lot of stuff that made you feel alone, and you've been put in situations where you feel like you have to do things kind of by yourself. And I feel like February is going to be all about learning how to do things by yourself, you know? It's like I'm very much picking up on, like, a girl that knows how to change their own oil, you know? And it's like, not to say that, like, changing oil is, like, a masculine thing, but, you know, like, in society we perceive it as a masculine thing and something that a woman naturally wouldn't do, you know? Like, let me just say, like, I feel like a good portion of people would be shocked if they found out a girl was changing their oil or, like, changing their tires, you know? It's like, and I don't want it to come off wrong, but I just feel like that's the sad truth of the world for now and what we live in for now. But I very much feel like that's kind of the energy you're embodying, pile 4, in the sense that you'll be teaching yourself how to do things. Like, I don't need a blank to do this for me. Like, I don't need a best friend to, like,
help me with boy problems. I don't need a man to help me with car stuff. I don't need, like, but do be careful, pile 4, because hyper independence can be a bad thing. And don't be afraid to ask for help this month, and don't be afraid to meet new people. Don't be afraid to communicate with new people and see what's out there, and not to say like, oh, like you have to rely on other people, you have to like depend on other people, you have to go out and talk to people. I'm just saying like even then, like, it doesn't have to be that black and white. I feel like in February there will be a lot of grays introduced to you, and I feel like there will be a lot of nuanced situations that aren't necessarily a clean cut, but not necessarily like, I don't know, like, it just because it's not one thing doesn't mean it's like it's not one or the other, pile 4. Just understand that in February there will be a lot of situations where you have to remain indifferent, and that you will have to kind of remain in the middle, whether it be between people in a situation. It's like I'm sensing that February is going to be a huge month of balance and finding the gray within situations that you naturally thought were black and white beforehand. And maybe that black and white perspective is what hurt you so much, or what caused you so much confusion and resentment and left you feeling so lonely. But it's like I feel like February is going to be very like how do I say, like, enlightening month, in the sense that like you'll learn a lot about different situations, like especially with how I said, like, I thought this said angel a situation, in the sense like you'll find where you belong in every standpoint, and you'll find out a lot about yourself and your opinions, especially if you have cut off a lot of people. Like, not to say that you don't have a spine or anything, but I think it's safe to say like people we care about, or like people in our life, and like like people we choose to associate with, they do have an impact on our decision making. They do have an impact on how we feel and how we go about our life, no matter how close or how distant we are from them. So it's like when you cut those people off, it's obviously going to change a lot of your perspective and change how you perceive things and how you change, like, how you make decisions. So I feel like February is going to be a very like a huge self journey for you, in terms of how you can move about your life and how you can improve it without it being so black and white. So yeah, let's get into the tarot so I can kind of explain more. I'm going to move these out the way. I don't know, like, I just feel like there's a million different ways to kind of explain what I'm trying to convey here, but I feel like the general consensus is the fact that, like, it's not that black and white. Ironic, because the deck we're using is that black and white. But there's some grays in it. There's gray. Also, pile 4, you may also have some regrets. I don't know what those regrets may be, but I feel like, we'll just find out. But I say that because when I was pulling out this deck, the shop that sells this deck on Etsy, they're not reprinting any of their decks in 2023. At least there's no plans to. And they had this one tarot deck that I really wanted, and I bought another deck instead of that one, thinking like, oh, like the deck that I ended up buying, I was like, oh, like, I just want to buy a deck, like, I want to feel that rush again. I'm a material girl. But had I waited like 2 more weeks, I would have found the deck that I didn't buy. Now it's like out of stock, and I had to wait maybe in upwards of a year for it to be reprinted. And it's just like, wow, y'all, imagine if I had just waited for it. So I almost wonder if, like, you have some regrets that you have from, like, the past few months. And honestly, pile 4, I just want to say, like, once again, it doesn't have to be that black and white, because looking at it now, when I bought the deck that I bought instead of the one I wanted, like, that was such a tumultuous and treacherous time of my life. And I honestly think that I wouldn't have wanted a deck period at that time, because it would remind me of a very, like, emotional time. And I don't like when I have, like, a relationship like that with my decks. I like to buy my decks when, like, when a big deal has happened or something big has happened in my life. Like, when I reach 1K subscribers, I'm planning to treat myself to a deck, and I want all my decks to have good vibes to them. Or like, like, it's like having, like, this is such a dramatic analogy, but when you have a kid, like, you don't want to have the kid with someone that you hate, or like at a terrible time of your life, because then when you look at the kid later on, like, I'm not a parent or anything, but I'd imagine that when you look at your child, or when you think about them too deeply, like, it'll just remind you of that, like, terrible time of your life, and like that can really impact how you treat your child. Same thing with my decks, and same thing with all of our material belongings. I feel like it's not just about decks. Like, if you buy a lamp when you're going through it in your life, it's like, girl, like, this lamp makes me think of a terrible time of my life. But what I'm trying to say here, pile 4, is like, do understand that your regrets, like, they aren't necessarily like you may regret it, but like later on it'll become very clear to you as to why that happened, especially within February. Like it'll become very clear to you in February as to why the things that have happened and why you made the choices that you made, because you essentially made the choices leading up until this point like with your best interest in mind. So yeah, what's going on in pile 4's February? What's going on in February for pile 4? Tell me about pile 4's February. Tell me about pile 4's February. We have the Strength card, Justice, 5 of Cups. Oh, sorry, I want to make these look nice. The High Priestess, Ace of Coins, Three of Wands. Let me move these up a little bit, actually. Then the 5 of Coins. And the 9 of Coins. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have King of Coins. So it definitely seems as if though February is going to be a lot about money and making progress within your finances. I feel like with the Strength card and the Justice card and the 5 of Cups, the first 3 cards, it really does seem as if though like a lot of the situations that you dealt with, like I was talking about those regrets and stuff, I feel like a lot of those situations will get ironed out and they'll be kind of like, how do I say, organized. In the sense that like I feel like the disappointments you faced previously and you kind of like were left like, how do I say, like there was unfinished business or there was like something about it that was like, you know, you didn't get full closure from it. I feel like February you'll get a lot of closure based on like a lot of closure on the things that like kind of left you feeling bitter or upset or lonely or any emotion that you deem as negative, pile 4. With this 5 of Coins here, I almost wonder if previously you like lost a large sum of money or you weren't making any money and you were kind of struggling, or you know, you were dealing with a lot of emotional disappointments, perhaps like a breakup or something like that. I feel like it's safe to say that in February, like a lot of those things will get wrapped up and like a lot of those doors will be closed in the sense that like you won't have to deal with it anymore. I feel like February is going to be a very healing month for you, pile 4. I feel like it's going to be a very healing month, and I feel like as you're healing with this Ace of Coins here, it seems as if though like through your emotional work, like a great materialistic opportunity will come upon you, especially financial. It's like, you know, like the more honest with yourself you are regarding your feelings, the better off you'll be. And once that happens, like you'll just manifest loads of money and opportunities. And I feel like with this 3 of Wands here, it's like you'll be making so much progress. And I think that with this 9 of Coins, like you'll have a huge breakthrough this month. I almost wonder if you like started like a new job or something, or like you've been trying to save up money, or you've been like, you know, being an entrepreneur, whatever the case may be. The point is that you've invited a new stream of income in your life that requires a little bit more time and like tenaciousness from you, if tenaciousness is a word. And I feel like in February, like with this 9 of Coins here, you'll finally see like the fruits of your labor, and I feel like you're going to start feeling so much better about yourself. Like you're literally going to be all that in February, in the sense that like maybe not in the first half of it, but you know, near the end of February, like you'll start making a lot more money, and I feel like you'll just feel so good about yourself, and I feel like you'll be really feeling yourself, and this will definitely attract a lot of lovers. And I almost wonder why. Like, I almost wonder if that's, like, what's causing this confusion card here, because suddenly people are going to start wanting you, or people are suddenly going to start paying attention to you. I'm particularly picking up on, like, a more, like, earthly masculine person, like a Taurus or a Capricorn Virgo person, like with this King of Coins on the bottom of the deck here. That's for some of you, not all of you. If you're trying to manifest love, I feel like a lot of your manifestations will come through work, or it will come through career and, you know, more, like, 3D things and more community-based things. You may meet them through like school, or you may meet them at like a job, like I said. But that's for some of you, not all of you. Obviously, not all of you want a lover right now. But I think it's safe to say that like you'll just overcome a lot in February. And I feel like that's really vague, but I feel like I have to keep it vague because obviously like the things that all of you have faced are like so different from each person watching this pile. But I think it's safe to say that like whatever you may have dealt with, probably dealt with things related to money, friends that you thought were your like enemies that you thought were your friends, or people that were treating you incorrectly. I think that those are very like prominent themes. I don't know. They're just like a very poignant theme in this reading, in the sense that like it seems as if though in February you're gonna do a lot of looking back and do a lot of like, wow, like that really all just happened, y'all. But I very much think that with the Strength and Five of Cups, like I said, you'll just overcome it, and a lot of things will get kind of like, no pun intended, but the cards you've been dealt will eventually start working out in your favor. And I also feel like, you know, like for those that have done you incorrectly, I would like to say it's the opposite for them. And honestly, with this Justice card, I feel like karma is really doing you good this month. I feel like, you know, if like a lot of people were like making, like if you're giving a lot up until this point, like I feel like you will receive a lot. It's safe to say that like I don't think that any of you have really been taking. I feel like you're not the kind of person that asks for money, pile 4. I feel like you're somebody who doesn't like receiving money from other people or receiving help. I feel like you're somebody who is a very do-it-yourself kind of vibe. And I almost wonder if like people have tried to help you but like you don't let them, or like if people are going to help you, they have to be very persistent about it. But I also feel like when people do help you, you're very flattered and you're very like, you know, like appreciative. But I also think that people have done that to like weaponize their good deeds to make you feel bad and kind of use it as leverage to make you do things for them, you know, like, oh, like I did this for you, so like why won't you just, you know, do this for me, you know, like, oh, do you remember that $5 that like I paid you for like when we were at the movies, and like, you know, like I covered you, and now like, you know, like you should give me that money, you know. It's like I feel like people, like there was a lot of people in your life that were very petty about the even the good things that they did for you, and I feel like maybe that left you kind of bitter. Like I said, this is a very particular message, but, or if I didn't say that, you know, it's a very particular message, but it's safe to say that like I think that you've been done incorrectly by some people, and just know that those people aren't all that's going to be out there, and that those aren't the only kind of people that exist. Just know that like in February, I feel like you'll change a lot of your mindsets, and you'll like really grow emotionally and mentally. Honestly, like you'll just grow a lot, and I feel like you'll change for the better. And because of that, you'll naturally start manifesting better. I do understand that a lot of the things that you dealt with up until this point, pile 4, you had to deal with it in order for you to become this version of yourself, and in order for you to become the better version that you're seeking. So yeah, don't take it as good or bad. Be indifferent about it. Don't take it personally. Understand that it happened for you, not to you. And once you adopt that mindset, it'll be a lot easier to move on with your life without resentment and regret dragging you back. And honestly, I totally relate to that statement, because like I feel like I wasn't a very indifferent person. I very much took everything personally within my life, but that just made my life so much harder to like enjoy. It made it so much harder to grow. It made it so much harder to let go of my ego when I needed to. And not to say that like you need to let go of your ego or anything, pile 4, but I just feel like there are times where you need to be a little bit more like neutral, and you don't need to be so like, not be so, but you know, I feel like there are just times where you didn't need to say anything or do anything, but you ended up doing so because you felt like it happened to you, you know. But with this High Priestess card here, I'm all like, it's kind of interesting because we haven't really talked about that card. I feel like February, once again, like with this High Priestess card, I think that your intuition is going to be very strong this month. I feel like you're going to be like very discerning of people. I feel like it'll be very easy for you to read people and their intentions. But yeah, I'm not sure. I always see the High Priestess card as kind of like a figure more than like a descriptor, in the sense that like I feel like something or someone is going to come into your life in February, and they'll present a lot of knowledge to you, or I feel like there is somebody in your life that you've learned a lot from, including yourself. But I also just feel like this once again references the fact that your intuition is going to be very strong, and don't ignore your gut feelings in February, pile 4. You know, don't run away from those feelings. Don't trust yourself more, and the minute you do that, like great things will happen. You know, don't let people sway you in one direction or the other. So yeah, Honestly, Pile 4, I think I'm going to sum up your reading by saying that February is just going to be a very introspective month and a very healing month where justice is served to everyone, including you, and you'll get the benefit, like you'll reap the rewards of what you've sown, and you'll get good karma and maybe bad karma. But I feel like the bad karma is definitely outweighed by the good karma, and I feel like once you do the work on yourself and you trust your gut instincts, like you'll attract really great people and people that can help you, and you'll really look great. Like, I don't know, that sounds so corny, but like you'll look so attractive and you'll be very much like in a self-care mode where you're kind of like, like planting seeds, growing the flowers and harvesting them, like very much like you grow your own flowers and make your own floral arrangements. Very much that vibe in February. And I feel like you'll be able to cultivate a lot of abundance and opportunities that will come towards you. I feel like a lot of the good things that are coming towards you in February are a result of your powerful manifestation skills and your potent energy that you've worked really hard to hone and protect it. Because obviously, like leading up until this point, like you've done a great job of like cutting off people, situations, and jobs that had, like I said, nothing to do with your growth. And I feel like you're just fed up with it. And I feel like in February, it's like a step in a direction that you've been wanting to go for a really long time now. And I feel like in that sense, February is just going to be so humbling, and it's just going to be so healing and reassuring. And it's also going to like make way for a lot of new exciting opportunities and adventures. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching Pile 4. I hope the reading resonated. If it did, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1K subscribers. And, if you want to join in for the ride, let's go. But, that Sweetie meme where she's like, let's go. Anyways, thank you so much for watching Pile 4. I love you. Bye.